My name is Evelyn Dent. I am a victim of mind control technology in Bromley, the UK at the moment. Today is Tuesday, the 12th of September 2023. I started writing this document about a week and a half ago on the 9th of September 2023 in my house in Bromley. This is a new video regarding my Havana syndrome symptoms. I have published a first video on Wednesday, the 24th of May this year. In this year, I talk about my Havana syndrome symptoms, and also I give a description about what it means cognitive therapy, according to Nita Farhani, an American-Iranian neuroscientist. I feel that it is important to continue talking about these symptoms. So here is an update on how these symptoms have evolved since the last time I published my first video about my Havana syndrome symptoms back in May 2023. I would like to remind everyone all these symptoms are described in very simple terms. And I am a victim of neuroweapons, directed energy weapons, remote neural monitoring, electronic harassment, voice call or V2K, cyber torture, gang stalking, Havana syndrome, also known today as neurostrike, a military term defined as the engineered targeting of the brains of military personnel or civilians like myself using non-kinetic technology. When I say civilians, I imply any woman, man, or child. There is no age limit for a perpetrator to invade your brain. These cyber attacks are done randomly. Anyone can be targeted. They have no reason to have done this to me. I was not an activist when this happened or was engaged in any political activity. In fact, I am apolitical, I am non-religious. All I did was to move to a new address in London, which happened to be at the center of a cluster street of perpetrators. Since April 2018, when I was initially targeted to this date, I have witnessed there are streets like this in this country. I currently live in another street like that here in Bromley. The name of that street is Nightingale Lane. I would like to let everyone know that the aim of these programs is to impair thinking, reduce situational awareness, inflict long-term neurological damage, and cloud normal cognitive functions. This is why making this content is incredibly difficult. I have had to rely on information I have found online and also books in order to explain what I'm going through. And as I'm doing now, I have to read this document instead of talking in a normal way. I don't have the concentration to do that. I can, even if I wanted to, I couldn't tell you all that I have to tell you today just by talking. I really have to follow this document as I'm doing now. Some of the definitions I have published in my videos, it's information I have found in pages like Wikipedia. Other concepts are widely available online. That's why I prefer to explain my symptoms in very simple terms. I don't want to confuse people. I'm not a scientist or expert in neurotechnology or warfare. For instance, the term non-kinetic effects in military jargon generally refers to digital capabilities or tools that don't fail under traditional weapons portfolio or physical objects. This is another description widely found on the net. Certain non-kinetic systems can be unintended kinetic effects such as overpowered lasers or misused electronic warfare systems. These are part of the technology currently being used to destroy my life. Neurostrike is a term being used for other scientists and experts in warfare technology regarding cyber torture. This is how these crimes are known today. Cyber torture is a crime recognized by the United Nations. Amongst those people who use this term, neurostrike, are also other victims like Mr. Leonidas Bear, otherwise known as Mr. Len Bear, now a science manager in the United States, this according to his own LinkedIn profile. He's been recently appointed as a board member of Targeted Justice, an organization for targeted individuals, victims of these crimes, based in the US, that is currently undergoing a lawsuit filed 11 in January 2023 in the state of Texas in the United States of America. This information is made public in their website, targetedjustice.com. As I was saying, here I describe my symptoms in very simple terms. They are a description of what I go through as a victim, as I am a survivor of these effects of neuroweapons and mind control technologies. If you haven't listened to my first video published in May 2023, I do recommend you do listen to this video before you start with this new video so you can have a better understanding of what a victim of these weapons has to survive. I do believe it's crucially important to learn to recognize them, as you may be misdiagnosed as a schizophrenic or having another mental illness when you're going through are the effects of these weapons and these technologies. With this video, I feel I needed to prompt out a few more explanations about what I said in the first part of this video with regards to my Havana syndrome symptoms. I am sure the question many people want to ask is, how are the symptoms of these technologies are like? How are we coping with victims? How are we surviving this? I have learned throughout these years as a victim, the aim of these programs is to deteriorate your life. They don't want to kill you in a short period of time. This is cyber told you. These are experimentation programs happening without our consent. I never say yes to any of these experiments. In fact, I did know nothing about them until a few months later my targeting started. I am sure I am not the only one who found this impossible to believe. I didn't know this technology was possible until I was targeted. Many information found online will refer any of these technologies as something of the future, when in fact, there are countries like Chile, the first country in the world to establish a new law based in human rights. The Chilean constitution, as it now stands, requires that technological development respect people's physical and mental integrity, and it states that the law must especially protect brain activity and information related to it. This development is a response to growing calls to respect neural rights, a law establishing the rights to personal identity, free will, and mental privacy, making Chile the first country in the world to legislate on neurotechnology that can manipulate one's mind. This law was approved in Chilean Senate in December 2021. When I first started researching about mind control technology, this happened after a few months of being targeted. I consider myself very lucky. I know I could have been subjected to psychiatric treatments I don't need, as my problem doesn't have to do with a mental disorder or a mental illness, but with the illegal use of neuroweapons against me, against my body and brain. At first, I found myself drowned in information that was not easy to understand. All this terminology was new to me. However, I could recognize my symptoms as I read information. The information provided by experts in these fields like Barry Trower, Dr. Robert Duncan, as well as books written by targeted individuals like the book written by Katie Meadows titled Mom, I Am a Targeted Individual, inspired me to start my awareness campaign in the UK and in 2020. This is a great book written for family and friends of targeted individuals. Other books or information I found available online was very advanced, complex terminology that many times contradicted itself. Some of the information I found, written by scientists and experts, did not recognize that technology was possible yet. With regards to my Havana syndrome symptoms, it's been an extremely painful experience since moving to Bromley in December 2021. Here, all my symptoms have deteriorated. It's been so bad. I have had days of resting in bed. I have been unable to even walk as I normally do. I have been extremely lucky not to have ended up in hospital. My body has lost its stability, and I have been close to fall and have other accidents here at home many times. This radiation is so strong that in more than one occasion, my lips swollen in less than 10 seconds. Any allergic reaction takes longer than this. Also, my neck, cervicals, jaw joints, and skull are targeted 24/7. I had to endure strong headaches too. My facial muscles, as you can see right now, are also targeted all the time. These muscles are constantly attacked by these vicious perpetrators. They have serious issues to accept who I am. These muscle contractions, are repetitive. And I can have one every second when these attacks are at its worst. At the moment, it's not that bad, but I think many people are able to see when my eyes close that is taking effect as I am speaking to you right now. With regards to what I was saying regarding all my muscles and when my lips swallowed, I took some pictures. I normally take some pictures of when things like this happen to me. So I took some pictures and published this on my Twitter account, where I have exposed many of these perpetrators. This is how other targeted individuals, TIs, also talk about their symptoms online. I have been subjected to more serious cyber attacks as part of the remote neural monitoring and mind control technology affecting my brain and different parts of my body in the last year and a half since I was targeted here in the UK in April 2018. The way they are torturing me at present is a lot more aggressive than what I have experienced in any other area in this country or even abroad in countries like Spain and Ecuador in South America. Sleep deprivation has remained pretty much the same since I moved here too. As I have explained, when being a victim, you are no longer in charge or you do no longer have any control of how many hours you sleep every day. Perpetrators continue waking me up several times during the night. I can't decide when I want to go to sleep or wake up, as it's them who are in control of these functions of my brain. Despite of this, I have kept a strict routine over my schedule. I only go to bed in the evenings, no matter how tired I am during the day. They couldn't let me sleep even if I try. I choose to go to bed in the evenings as I don't want to miss daily hours. I do recognize the importance of sunlight exposure. The intake of vitamin D is important to keep my bones, teeth, muscles healthy. Maintaining good health through healthy eating and exercising is crucial when surviving these attacks. Whoever is performing these attacks are very dangerous people to the society. This form of torture is most inhumane. This particular group hasn't stopped letting me know they are also pedophiles and infanticides, as they see children as an easy target. Literally, these are the words they have used when they talk through B2K, which is the voice to skull technology, as well as when using induced sense of smells. They are very the situation improves when moving to a different area. With regards to renting properties, when you fall victim, as my husband and I have, I would have to warn other people about renting properties in any of these areas where I know many perpetrators and gang stalkers live, and I have done for years. I am referring to Croydon and Bromley. My husband and I, we were targeted when looking for affordable housing. My husband found a property in Parker Road in Croydon. Here's where we were both targeted in April 2018. My awareness campaign started whilst living at number 13 Parker Road, Croydon, CR01DU. This is the address I used in my campaign that started in 2020. Going back to my symptoms, I have also experienced blindness. When this happens for less than a minute, long enough to make me worry about my eyesight in future. Moving on to what I described in my Twitter account as mind blocking. When I say mind blocking, I'm talking about another of my symptoms where literally my mind does not function. My brain is being bombarded by somebody else's thoughts. I can only interpret this as data being inserted into a program and then sent to my brain at great speed. Sebastián Piñera, former president of Chile, when talking about neuroweapons, which today are a reality in Chile's constitution, explains online that this technology exists. When talking about a new global wireless standard like 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G network and 5G generation mobile network, and the neuroscience behind what is known for scientists as the insertion of thoughts and emotions as the risks for our conscience and consciousness as part of our brain activity. This is what Sebastián Piñera, former president of Chile, explained in a conference regarding 5G and the insertion of thoughts and emotions as risk for our brains. This is the title of a video in YouTube where the following information was published in Spanish. 5G y la inserción de pensamientos y emociones como riesgos para nuestros cerebros. That is actually the title I have already mentioned just before in English. The technological revolution, our society, our knowledge and information technology, all of them are right here and are going to change our lives in much deeper and wider ways than many people believe is possible. This is how Sebastián Piñera started his speech in this conference. I do believe we are living one of those very important moments in which we can change the course of history. I'd like to share a story with all of you. Last year, I went to the G7 in Biarritz, France, where there was the pandemic. Here, we analyzed with other leaders of the world the possibility of machines reading thoughts and feelings in our brains. We also must think about how we are going to protect our consciousness and our privacy. 1G connected computers, 2G allows mobile networks, a global system for mobile communication, GSM. 3G allows low-speed internet. 4G allows communication between computers, people, and things in general. 5G is a tremendous advancement, a huge jump, a sort of Copernican revolution between 5G technology will mean in future a major change in our lives. Basically, what all these other technologies have meant for us. What does it really mean, 5G technologies and the implication in our lives? There are two ways to explain this. One of them explains that the velocity of this technology will multiply by 10 times and network capacity by 100 times more. At the same time, this will impulse the connectivity amongst people, computers, and other systems, revealing an entire new world for you in this area. There's also something a lot more important Piñera here talks about. That is us, every single one of us as humanity, as part of humanity. We people are and should be above anything else. 5G will transform into the main central nervous system in our societies. That's why Piñera also questions our survival as humans. I ask myself how important it is for a heartbeat to carry on pounding for the survival of a human being. The answer is vital. Has anyone cared for that heartbeat to carry on pounding, to carry on living? The answer is no. We as human beings, we have an intelligent system in our bodies. Without this working and functioning properly, our bodies could collapse. All these symptoms are sophisticated and work in perfect coordination. We are also capable of our decision taking. The vast majority takes this nervous system autonomously and intelligently. Technology is like a scalpel blade. It can be used to remove a tumor, but it can also be used to slit a person. It's extremely important the effective and safe use of these technologies. This was part of our debate in this summit that took place in Biarritz, France in August 2019. All of this leads us to the moral ethics and many other sciences. We think that during the first years of new technologies will be incorporated, rendering substantive investments of around $3,000 million, and also is going to be needed double the number of antennas 5G in order to have better mobile coverage. This in order to enhance market penetration and are part of how mind control technologies operate. These technologies, capable of reading and inserting emotions into our brains, is already here, and when used illegally, they are affecting our lives in the way I do explain as a victim. I am one more victim amongst thousands worldwide. These technologies are destroying our entire nervous system. This of course means any part of our bodies is being destroyed. My brain is being destroyed. I can't concentrate anymore. Writing these notes is incredibly difficult as my brain is constantly bombarded by voices in voice-to-skull technology. A microwave auditory effect, also known as the Frey effect, and with this use of other programs as part of this experiment, cyber torture, obliterating my mind and not allowing me to think clearly. One of the reasons why I have to write this speech and read. Otherwise, I don't think I could be able to say everything I have said here. Many details and information would have escaped my mind. I cannot think clearly. These programs are trying to manipulate my thoughts and decisions. Through this torture, I have been able to realize these programs are designed to destroy my free will. I'm also quite clear on this, as my husband does not want to recognize this is a crime. Parts of his memory has been erased. He doesn't remember, for instance, when we were first targeted. He talked to me about buying a special curtain to shield part of the house. He initially thought this would help. Then later he knew and also let me know that this wouldn't help up against this targeting. He also explained to me this is part of an organized crime that involved high authorities. He doesn't have any recollection of this ever taking place. These are few of the facts that I remember happening, because it was very difficult for me to remember anything at that point. So this is what I can share with you today. These are the two instances that were very important for me to tell you what happened with my husband and how do I recognize that now that he is being controlled and he's also a victim of this, and how he is being controlled. He doesn't want me to carry on making this crime public, as he doesn't believe it's possible or is a crime. What I know about this is that he knows this could create problems for both of us, so that's why he doesn't want me to do this, to carry on with this awareness campaign online. I do believe we as victims have the right to tell our stories, and that's why I am doing this. I know how important this is so that other people know the truth. And more importantly, after reading about the lives of other victims going through unnecessary treatments, psychiatric treatments, I know it's important to share my story with you. One of the aims of this cyber torture is to discredit the victim. I have no doubt that many of these groups want to send their victims eventually to jail, so it's for that reason that I have to be extremely careful. Since I moved to Bromley, my neighbors in Nightingale Lane are trying to discredit me using local police and mental health services. They have told the police about all this information I post online, when this should not be relevant for their inquiries. I know I have to be extremely careful with everything I do. I am keeping myself away from any trouble, especially my neighbors in Bromley. I do not consider a safe area. I do not consider Bromley a safe area anymore. I am asking everyone, as well as every victim, to take care of these facts. I would avoid these people at all costs. They are covert criminals. I would like to point out that I am and always have been a law-abiding citizen with a clean criminal record. I don't have any conviction or have ever been convicted. I have never been in trouble with law. I have excelled at everything I do. I have been a dedicated professional as a translator, a good member of society in every country I have lived in. I would like to make it very clear and warn other people that these covert criminals have access to the most powerful technology against humans. Some of these people not necessarily have direct access to these weapons, but they are involved in this covert activity, such is the case of many gang stalkers living in this area. When I say covert criminals, I mean these people can affect your decision-taking, your free will, as they have done with my husband, destroying his memory and making him believe this crime is not possible, when he did. No, we were both victims of this covert activity. We were targeted by our then neighbors in Parker Road, Croydon, back in April 2018. This is what scientists know as the effects of brainwashing. This is how this technology affects and destroys our mind and changes you as a person. It's situations like surviving depression, addiction to drugs, changing one's sexual orientation, changing religious beliefs, whether you are religious or not religious, brainwashing mass populations, amongst other many things, many other things that where mind control technology can be used. And I can say it's definitely here, it's happening right now. It's not a thing of the future and has been used, according to scientists and experts, this has been used over decades now. This technology has been used for quite a long time now. Anyone can be a victim. Any woman, man, child, even animals can be targeted for these experiments. We must get to know ourselves very well. We have to be careful and be responsible for ourselves. If you're a victim, you know the importance of remaining calm. Don't rush into taking decisions. Take your time. Above all, be a good person, be happy, and respect others. It's extremely important that you do, or you may end up in prison if you are not careful. Whether you like it or not, I know that for me it's incredibly difficult to accept that there are so many ignorant people doing this to us. these bastards have access, whether we like it or not, these bastards have access to this very powerful technology, and they will do whatever it takes to take us down. Don't let them. Please avoid confrontations. Breathe. Don't let them take control of you. If you know the truth about how these technologies are destroying our lives, don't let them grind you down. Remember, you ultimately are in control. Take your time and control over your emotions, and avoid any perpetrator if they made themselves known to you. Otherwise, they will eventually try to harm you in all sorts of possible ways. This is what I have learned from other victim stories and my own story. I cannot say I have engaged with any perpetrators. I haven't engaged with any perpetrators whatsoever. I only talk to my family and one or two friends, and that's about it. When working, I have informed my employers about me being a victim of mind control technology, but that's been all. I haven't made friends through work because I know these covert criminals can be everywhere. Not all of them have or come from disadvantaged backgrounds. Lastly, I would like to remind everyone the importance of researching into these subjects. The mass media is not saying much at the moment about mind control technology, and this is not only affecting but destroying the lives of many people worldwide. Do research other whistleblowers and experts in neurotechnology. I can only recommend Dr. Robert Duncan at this point, as my research has not been as extensive as I wanted it to be due to the severity of my symptoms. So this is all I have to share. I have to share with you today. I will be publishing a lot more. It's very important to know that I have been a victim of this crime twice. The first time it happened in Spain in 2010. I did move to Spain for a short period of time. After only a week and a half, the targeting started over there. I didn't know at the time that I was being targeted or that I was the victim of mind control. It's only when it happened for the second time here in England in 2018 that I realized I actually didn't have a schizophrenic problem or attack, but I did actually went through a cyber attack for no more than 3 or 4 days. They eventually ceased. All the symptoms ceased immediately after I arrived here in the UK. That was in October 2010. So it's not until 2018 that all my symptoms, this targeting started again. This is something that I would like to clarify in another video. It's very important for people to understand that this can be shut down. These systems, it can be shut down so you can be freed of this torture. And I know that the government and many other authorities know that, but they don't, for some reason, they don't want to respond to my letters. I have sent a few letters to the Prime Minister now, Rishi Sunak, to the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and I haven't received any response from many other authorities either. I do believe this is a crime that needs to be addressed, and everyone has to start talking about and discussing these serious issues with members of parliament. This has to be made public in the same way it has happened in Chile. I won't rest until this happens. I will carry on publishing this, even though I know I have received many death threats for doing so. In the meantime, I can only thank everyone for listening to this video, and I do apologize once again that perhaps what I'm saying is not completely clear. I wish this information was clear, but at the moment it's very difficult to find the concentration and trying to focus entirely on what I'm trying to say to you. So until the next time, thank you for watching this video.